Going to call this meeting to order. It should be noted that Amanda and Robert are not present, as well as Tom. Pat will be present shortly after the VAS meeting. We have student reps this evening, Annika and Charlie, and I'm looking forward to them speaking. So let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty for all. Thank you. Committee reports. Budget and finance. Is there a committee report?
Mr. Brindle? Yeah, so we did meet earlier this evening to discuss the general obligation note that is on for later in the meeting that will finance the improvements of the ELC.
Thank you. Student board reports. We have Annika and Charlie. Would you like to come this way so that you're in front a little bit? Are you both in the concert? Yes. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you're going to be speaking to.
I'm Annika Nemish. I'm a senior. I'm in orchestra and choir this year.
I'm Charlie Viroqua. I'm also a senior. I am in choir and band.
Welcome. So you're going to be speaking on student activities?
Yes.
Whoever would like to start, go right ahead.
Well, this is my first year in choir, actually, and I love it. I do play the piano. I don't sing, but I accompany. But I absolutely love it. And I've been in orchestra for 4 years and in middle school too, which I do also love. I play the string bass, so I've had a lot of fun with that.
I have been in choir for 6 years now, and this is my second year in band. Both have changed a lot since I first attended, between new teachers and new activities going on constantly. A lot of things have changed, but I have enjoyed my time a lot.
Do you want to tell us about the program you're going to be presenting tonight, performing at?
Sure. We are just performing a winter Christmas concert. We've been practicing since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know how much orchestra has been doing.
Beginning,
The choir has definitely been doing a lot of rehearsing since at least October, and band has been rehearsing since September for this concert. So,
Any surprises tonight? We have a new instructor, and I hear he has a lot of energy.
oh yes, Mazer. It's the transition between Mr. Thu, who is our director for 25 years, and Mr. Mazer is definitely difficult for most students because I haven't been in band for that long. I'm sure other students took it a lot more difficultly than I did. But Mr. Mazer is wonderful. He's very energetic, as you said. He tries very hard and connects with the students, and he likes to know us personally, and we get to share about our lives and what's going on. And he is a wonderful addition to the school staff.
That's fabulous. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you for coming. We hope the program is absolutely lovely and well attended. I'm sure it will be. You have great weather outside to go with a winter wonderland program. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want to tell us a little bit? You're a senior, so what kind of plans do you have next year?
I'm planning to go to the Milwaukee School of Engineering next year.
Yes. Fabulous. Make sure you apply for scholarships.
Yeah,
There's a lot of them in our school district. So thank you both.
Charlie, where are you going? Both seniors.
Oh, I thought Charlie's.
No.
Oh, I misunderstood. I'm sorry, Charlie.
Oh, no, you're fine. I have applied to 4 different schools for 4 different things.
Okay,
So I'm not quite sure what my plans are at this very moment.
that's okay. I'm still figuring it out myself and I'm 60, so you're okay. That's great. Which schools?
I've applied to early decision for UW-Madison.
Okay.
Actually, just a few hours ago, I applied to Yale and New York University. And I am applying to the Maine College of Art and Design for illustration.
Okay. Sounds fabulous. I am sure you'll both have lovely journeys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
The next item that we don't have any public comment, do we, Beth?
Imagine who it would be.
Imagine who it would be. Unless it's Annika or Charlie. No, I'm teasing. Sorry. At a board meeting, we offer public comment if someone wants to speak to an item. That's what I was talking. The consent agenda. The consent agenda includes approval of the agenda, proof of public notice, November meeting minutes, voucher summary 1 in the amount of $390,250.30, retirements and resignations, which we have none, appointments, which we have none, the policy updates that were presented. This is item number 7.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Motion carries. The next item is an action item 8. It's voucher summary 2, and it is in the amount of $252,790.30, and that is for insurance.
I'll move to approve the voucher summary 2 in the amount of $252,790.30.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And
Angie Robert is here as well.
Oh, great. Thank you. Robert? Do you approve? I will assume that that's a yes, and I abstain from voucher summary 2. Item B is the resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of a $800,000 general obligation promissory note. Mike, would you like to speak to that?
Sure. So as part of the financing for our improvements at the ELC building, which will total about 1.6 million by the time everything is added together on it. The district will be issuing general obligation debt of $800,000. We can do this without going to referendum or to petition in accordance with state statute. The $800,000 is reflective of the $200,000 that is already outstanding. And we did contemplate whether paying that off and borrowing the full million made more sense, but considering the rates in which they came in, that if you remember that $300,000 that we borrowed a year ago was sub 1% on the interest on that for the life of that at basically $100,000 a year payments. We're just going to hold on to that note and have the $800,000 be the new debt to take us up to the 1 million. For local financial institutions in our community, all had a chance and all bid on this issue. Royal Bank was awarded as they were the low bid at 4.19%. But basically everybody put a very competitive bid. And as I explained to the committee, I really do believe it's a matter of what is already in their portfolio and what they want to fill their portfolios out at their level is the difference between the interest rates. All told, there is no prepayment on this after, I think it is 2 years, which allows us a lot of flexibility in a year in which we feel in Fund 80, we can levy more to pay this down quicker. But even at that, with these rates, I think we're doing very well. Again, 4.19% interest rate. So that's where we're at. The closing on this will be by the 31st. If it's not, we do have an issue as far as it being tax exempt, as we anticipate, and we will be borrowing more than our 15 million that would be allowed and still have another issue. So that's why, we needed to get this done by the end of December, and we worked with Quarles and Brady to do that for us.
And the Budget and Finance Committee did meet prior to this meeting, and we all approved of this promissory note.
With that, is there a motion to approve the $800,000 general obligation promissory note?
So
Second, any more discussion? So one thing that I'd like to add is it's an eight-year, right, Mike? It's an 8-year loan.
It is $100,000 plus accrued interest each year for 8 years. Yes. Yep.
Thank you. Robert, did you have any questions?
It said that before where he was having trouble connecting to audio.
Okay,
Nope, now he's muted, so I think he's further than he was before.
okay.
Robert, can you
Should
hear
we
us?
wait a moment? Okay. With
Yes,
that,
I can hear you.
did you have any questions, Robert?
I just got in, so.
So Robert, I'll just give you a real quick synopsis. We went to 4 local financial institutions. Each presented a bid. Royal Bank was the low bid at 4.19%, $100,000 a year for 8 years, plus accrued interest due every December 1st. I didn't share, but I will now. Total interest, if we paid in accordance to the payment schedule, would be $150,351. But there is no prepayment penalty on this.
Okay, so where does the money come from for the payments? Out of general fund?
Out of Fund 80, we will be
Okay.
able to levy out of Fund 80 and then transfer to Fund 38 to make the payment.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions? All in favor, vote by. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is resolution authorizing a school start date waiver for the 23-24 school year.
I move to approve the resolution authorizing a school start date exemption request for the 23-24 school year.
Is there a second?
second,
Any discussion?
That's for August 21st?
It's August 22nd in 2023, and then the school would end May 22nd of 2024.
Well, this is actually just the exemption request to start before
Right, so-
September 1st.
Right. But he asked what the date
Correct.
was.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
All right. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item D is the 2023-24 school calendar, student school start and end dates. We don't have all of the details, but it would start August 22nd of 23, and it would end Wednesday, May 22nd of 24. Is there a motion?
so
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? So there were quite a few comments made as far as what that might look like in between, and none of that has been ironed out yet. But this is just for the start and end dates. Any other questions? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Information discussion, donations over $250. Mike, would you like to speak to that?
Sure. We have 2 tonight to present to you. First, from the Viroqua FFA alumni, $1,320 for FFA jackets. And the second, an anonymous donation of $1,500 for a volleyball, I believe it's called a spike trainer. I know what it is. I've seen it in use and very much appreciated. which was actually delivered today. So
Oh,
a total of
awesome.
$2,820.
Wow. Thank you. Early Learning Center update, Mike?
And actually, if I could also just put a reminder out there that the annual solstice dinner is at the Driftless on
Wednesday.
Wednesday. And that the proceeds from that really support our families to a great extent. And our staff has been working hard to come up with a plan of how we're going to disperse that and how much and which families and all of that. And we're just very, very thankful. So I didn't want to remind people that that's coming up later this week.
And it's very nice of Ruthie and Luke to donate their time, staff, energy to gift that to our school district.
To allow the community to make a donation.
Yes.
Yep, as they would say. Yep.
Yes. Early Learning Center update.
Do you want to do the facilities planning update too, or?
Oh, sure. Facilities planning update.
Yep. So the facilities planning update, we've been meeting later this week, weather permitting, and with who's going. I believe Robert and Matt are going to join our high school technology education. Carl Zuby, Lloyd Hardy, and Tyler Gabrielson, Mr. Kress, myself, and Mr. Burkhalter on a tour of the Mauston School District, the Holman School District, and Western Technical Colleges. Recently updated tech ed areas, and to give us some ideas of what we're looking at and what we think we might like, or I think it's a very important part because we're really heavy into the design phase. A good portion of our design the other day was talking about the high school, middle school office configuration, and that they're working hard on all areas of the design, but that was our meeting last week, was that. And then to talk about some other timing things. Obviously, they're very excited that we are trying to get out of here by Memorial Day that summer. The Early Learning Center update, as Myron has put together for the board, a project report, kind of where we're at. It's been very, very fun to go out and to see this former assisted living facility being transitioned into a childcare facility, and what you thought okay, I think I understand when you actually see the walls going in and the plumbing being moved and everything. It's going to be a really, really, really nice facility. It's exciting. It's really exciting. It's been very fun to work with Myron and HSR. As construction issues come up, which they're bound to have good partners where they're keeping us informed. They're asking us our intentions or our desires, but yet really being the experts in the room and helping us get through that and holding the subs and everybody accountable. So they do updates like this, and they've got a really neat program that maintains all of this so that they can quickly provide for the board. So they'll do this again in January and February, and you can see some of the pictures as to where we're at on the construction progress. All intents, we're still looking March to being completed. There's no reason to think, if anything, we're a little bit ahead of schedule, as you would always want to be going into the holidays and with the weather coming. So.
Do you know how many students possibly have been, or families have pre-registered? I know Tom thought there might be over 40.
I think that number is very close.
Okay.
And a lot of people have put their names on the list. And that's basically where we're at now, is a list.
Okay.
And some of them, as he has said before, are in anticipation. I know I'm going to need a newborn spot in September of 2023, and those types of things. So yeah, very exciting.
I'd also, going back to the facilities planning, I ran into Lloyd today and I mentioned Josh Gamer at Western. So when you all go there, he is the one that worked with businesses for the apprenticeship piece at Western and received lots of donations from local businesses. And so I hope that you'll, I don't know if he's giving you the tour.
I would almost expect that Josh would be the tour.
I'm hopeful that he
But he
is.
also helped design that.
He did. And so I'm really hopeful that you'll have a conversation with him and maybe connect you to some of the businesses that possibly could donate maybe some items or some of the needs that they have, some equipment perhaps. But he's has great connections and is wonderful to work with. Robert, you have a question?
I have a question and a comment. The question I have is, when is this tour scheduled with Lloyd and Jason and a bunch of us?
And you is Wednesday of this week, Robert. Again, weather permitting, I don't know how we're gonna make that call. You know, it's, we were gonna leave here from the district office. I don't have the timeline
Was
in
it
front of me.
8:30?
I think it was 8 or.
8 or 8?
We have a schedule then, and I will definitely get that to you. But Tom and I will need to talk tomorrow about what that will look like in case of weather.
I know they're calling for some bad weather,
Yes.
so I hope.
And the other one is a comment that, Mike, we should talk. I had dinner the other night with a retired police officer, and that might be some information that you would like for that secure entrance that he shared
Oh,
with me.
good. Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yes.
and then the other one is, how do I get my hand lowered?
How does he get what?
His hand lowered. He raised his hand. Eventually it'll get tired, Robert.
Hit it again.
Eventually it'll get tired.
And that's okay. I can just keep, you'll have more comments I'm sure, as we go forward. I'll just keep asking you. How's that?
Okay, I'm sorry.
The next item is the legislative linkage. And that was really marvelous. We had that the first Wednesday, and we were very fortunate. We'd like to thank Tammy Baldwin, had a staff member present virtually. Lauren Oldenburg was present, our district attorney, our local district attorney. All of our administrators were present, as well as most of our board members. We had city council members. We had county board members, and it was a wonderful experience. And I don't know if anyone else would like to add to it, but explaining all of the great things that our district is doing, all of the things we have going on moving forward right now, as well as a pretty in-depth conversation of school finance and funding and what that's going to look like over the next couple of years, and requesting more money for the K-12 system, as well as on a federal level through title funding. And it was very much well received. We did invite all of our representatives, state and federally, to attend, and we feel very fortunate that those that were able to participate did. Anybody else want to add anything that was there?
Well, as long as my hand's still up. Afterwards, I've had a chance to talk with some of the participants. Mr. Oldenburg was like, no other school district has done anything like this. One of the city county board members was really happy that we did it, and it was very helpful. So they were in the loop and understanding more about what's happening at Viroqua area school. So I agree, it was extremely valuable, and they seem to be looking forward to another linkage in a year.
Thank you. I guess the only other thing I could add is the meeting was also about collaboration with all of the stakeholders within our community, because we all are aware of what the needs are and trying to collaborate to work together to meet the needs of our community members as well as our students. So that was very much part of the conversation. The next item is charter school update.
That's fine.
Mike?
So we're in the process of renewing the charter updates. Two of our, or is it all three, Beth?
All three.
All three.
All three are requiring a new contract. And with their governance councils. And so the rough drafts will go to the state by the end of February. And the way this works is there is a review process where they will check it for their required criteria. Take it back if they have questions or move forward with it. It is the best time administratively as a board for us to look and, make sure that the charters are doing what we intend them to do. And what the state intends them to do. I mean, charters exist for a reason, not just to have a separate program or anything like that in the different district, but to there's a give and a take of a charter contract. So they're going through that. I know Tom and Pat met with VAMS and Tom and Renee Baker for Laurel have met to start that process going. Obviously, you can start with the last one and build from there, but it is a chance for everyone to look at where we're at on the three contracts. Three contracts are Better Futures, Laurel, and Montessori. Sorry.
And we do have board members present on those, attending those meetings, but we are not voting board members. We are just connecting the charters.
Correct.
And then presenting the information that's gathered from those meetings. Any other questions about that?
It'll be a 5-year contract.
5 years. Thank you. The next item is administrator reports, winter co-curriculars. Jason?
Yeah, I told Dan Brown he could stay on tonight because he's had to do some rescheduling and potentially maybe doing some more rescheduling this week. So I think, but winter sports were, most seasons we're probably a third to a quarter of the way through already at this point. Don't normally have as many snow days this early on. I mean, the good thing is there's still quite a bit of schedule left to fill in situations, but everybody's doing a great job just helping out, supervising. Like tomorrow night, there's 3 different home events, so I think all 3 of us are each. Steve's giving a go at hockey for the first time, so I think we got him trained up to go out to the hockey arena and help out. But it's been a great opportunity, compared to even the last couple of years where whether we've had good crowds for a variety of events, which is always a great thing to see. So yeah, it's been going great, and Eric and Dan are working hard to get things reschedule, and Dan's probably watched the weather more in the last 2 weeks, maybe his whole life, type of thing. But that's especially like last week was just unique because that big a storm, but it just kept going, and it gets it. And especially the 30 to 35 degree days are really challenging to make calls on. If you know you're going to get a foot of snow, it's a pretty easy decision to make. But when a couple of degrees weather can really move things, it's a tough call to make. So
Thank you. High school, middle school student council activities.
So we've had a variety of activities. The biggest was to get to cancer. That high school and middle school both work together. Student council there, and we've mentioned before, Michelle and Deanna have done a great job leading everybody. The student council kids have done a great job leading. High school wise, they do have some activities planned for Thursday. So we'll see if those come to fruition or not. But everybody's doing a really good job just because we realize, there's the academic part of things, but that community building and that team building and just coordinating with others is a very vital thing. And community did a great job with the fundraiser. And I think it's gone really well. And like I said, the kids' leadership has been great too. And we had a lot of, today was pajama day. So, they're much more dressed up.
I was going to say.
The pajamas they're going on because Charlie was debating if it was Halloween or if it was more holiday wise. Because she definitely wanted to go with school colors today. So she had a lot of pumpkins on the pajamas. So But there was a lot of kids in pajamas, between the two buildings, which led to Steve calling an indoor recess. Flannel isn't real warm.
Yeah, the
Probably
pajama pants
so.
were not suited for the weather today.
Because I'm assuming he's not gonna call indoor recess on every day that's 10 degrees, but today was probably a special.
It was feels like
Exception.
-8. It just feels like -8.
So, but no, I think it's been good to have those type of activities and especially, and that get, like I said, that gets back to that normalcy that hasn't always been here during the kids' high school careers.
Thank you. So did you all dress up in your pajamas today?
I wore this.
Sometimes I work so hard, I just get home and I just fall asleep in what I'm wearing. So yes, I'm very much what I'm doing.
Good answer.
Yeah.
All right. And Steve, did you want to discuss the student reps you're on here as well for middle school?
So I'll jump back to winter co-curriculars actually real quick, because we've got boys basketball, 7th and 8th grade boys basketball that just wrapped up last week. We've got girls 7th and 8th grade basketball that starts right after break. And Dan and Terry and myself and Karen Buell, we're just doing some interviews today for our 7th grade girls basketball position and hoping to have a decision and a high quality candidate for that by the end of this week to be ready for the season starting in January. And wrestling is in full motion right now too, with another meet happening right after break as well. So good participation in all of those events. It was on here. We talked about it and Beth took it off, but our winter concert is another thing to mention as well. We had so many individuals that came and participated in watching our middle school concert that we ran out of programs during the 6th grade performance. And so the 7th and 8th grade performance, we had no more programs left. And just about every space in the bleachers were filled for both concerts. So very well attended. For high school, middle school student council activities, door decorating also happened as well. And very fun, very good team building activity there with the door decorating. And we will have numbers for you as far as the Stick It to Cancer fundraiser for how much has been raised with those efforts. But we're totaling a pretty good amount for that family, which is fantastic. And no shortage amount of effort put in by the students, the student councils, and especially Michelle and Deanna have put a lot of work into that as well.
Can I ask what some of the door decorations have been?
Oh, a lot, mostly Christmas themed. I know that our staff class put a board for like a bunch of music to listen to. There's a stats equation on the front of it.
A big calculator.
A lot of people also.
A lot of Grinches.
There is a lot of Grinches this year. There's some minions, there's some snowmen, there's a few snowmen. Just very festive Christmas themes things, usually relating to the classroom that the door is on.
Oh, I know there was supposed to be a little academic twist to it, so I was just curious how that was integrated in some of that. Any favorites?
It's like district office came over. Did you guys have favorites?
We always enjoy Mr. Dick's class because the students get very creative recreating movie posters.
Ah,
We have the heads of staff members, and if you get a chance, that's very, very good.
that sounds entertaining.
Alicia Frizzy's 5th grade class did a play on A Christmas Story with like looking the metal pole and then it gets stuck. That was very good. And right next door, Rob Zuby had a cookie cutter one that I think gave it a run for its money. But Alicia Frizzy did end up winning.
Creativity.
Sounds fun, very fun. It's nice to be back, isn't it? To do those really fun regular things. Thank you. Board reports. We have VAMs, Kim.
Well, I left early. They were still talking about, they were just having a discussion about the contract and they had a meeting that Mike talked about and some of the things that had come up and it was just a good question and answer. They were just discussing the different options and really was an excellent discussion, I thought. And then the middle school, the 7th and 8th grade BAM teacher presented some of the things they're doing, and I think she should come here and present. I don't know who needs to be in charge of that, but they are doing a lot of very cool things tying in the concept of community production, working with a farm. They're doing salad raising, selling eggs. They're doing some art stuff. They are volunteering at the food pantry, and that has been, the teacher said that has been an amazing experience for those students to do. And she said she thinks it's probably been good for the adults to work with the kids too. So that's been very good. And right now they feel like because so many things have changed too, they're just looking at trying to improve on what they have and not start any big new initiatives. But they talked about the transition from leaders to high school. They've been raising some money from fundraisers, and they use that for staff to be able to do things above and beyond the budget. So it was a good meeting. They're going to have a newsletter they're going to put out next week. And I will suggest, I just have a draft, they aren't finished yet, that we send that out to the board too, so the board can see what's going on.
Marvelous, thank you.
Probably a spotlight on the education coming up then.
Yeah,
On the 70th.
that would be really nice to have the middle school, to have her come and talk. I could have listened to her for like an hour of all the things they're doing, but they kept it a lot shorter than that.
Erica's.
Fun.
Wonderful. Well, the food pantry, I met with a volunteer today, and at the peak of COVID, they had 100 families. They have 130 families now, so it's significantly increased. And the peak of COVID, that was busier than what they had ever been before. So,
Yeah.
And they've expanded hours, so that's great that we have students and staff involved in that.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the food pantry. They've got their little thing where they are making something. I think Mary Henry does a lot of that and stuff. And I think that's also good for the students to see and be involved in how things go. So
You have a surplus of beans, they make some type of a bean dish,
right.
which is really nice to incorporate something that people might not have ever eaten or ever prepared.
Think of.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I believe that is a spotlight on education at some point in time already on our calendar. So I don't remember exactly when it is, but
We will
can
figure
make
that out.
sure that it is. That'd be fabulous. The next item is the scholarship committees. I have Regina Lindemann scholarship is Robert Nye. The Bigley scholarship is Amanda and Kim. The Leona Sillen Jackson scholarship is Marina, and the Colonel Butt scholarship, I don't know if that's going to be available this year, but that's Robert, Amanda, and myself. If you want something different or you want to change, please let me know as soon as possible. Do you think anyone wants to change those committees? Okay. All right, we will go with that. The WASB resolution thank you, Matt. Matt will be presenting or will be attending that in January. And going through them, Tom and Mike thought that they were all okay. And I know I skimmed through them as well, and nothing extraordinary.
I got my packet this year. So.
Oh, I'm so proud of them getting it. That's fabulous.
Yeah, we're good now.
All right, great. Yeah, it's nothing mind-blowing. The 23 spring school board election is Tuesday, April 4th, and school board members are up for election in 2023 are Amanda and Matt. Friday, December 23rd at 5 p.m. is the deadline for the incumbent school board members to file notification of non-candidacy if they choose not to run for re-election in 23. Tuesday, January 3rd of 24 at I'm sorry,
23.
23. I'm skipping years. I'm into 24 because of what we were talking about before. And 23 at 5 p.m. is the deadline for potential candidates to file a declaration of candidacy and registration statement in order to qualify for the spring election ballot. There's many links for this process, but it is on our school board election information page. It's also available at the district office, 115 North Education Avenue in Viroqua, obviously. And what I'm going to say to that is I also, you can go on the WASB guide for candidacy to look up what it means to be a board member, what the job description is, and what your role would be as a board member. And I would be very hopeful that anyone that would like to run for board member would go and look at that. And
There's a link to that right on our website as well.
right. Because it's great information to see actually what the responsibilities are. And if anyone ever had any questions about what it's like to be on the board, they could obviously contact any of us board members, as well as Tom or Beth or Mike, and we could give you some assistance. But it's really great that the WASB guide is wonderfully written. The next item is the WASB legislative update, and I already really spoke to that with our legislators that attended. I would also like to say anybody that wants to attend or has a change of attending the school board convention in January should notify Beth ASAP. And with that, before we end, I would also like to tell you, Charlie, that you should apply for scholarships too. I didn't say that up there because I was thinking that you were not at that place. So there's the foundation awarded over $140,000 in scholarships last year. So you should have all of your friends, all of the people in the district to apply. And with that, I would like to wish everyone only the most wonderful 2023, only good health, only wonderful time with family and friends, and expeditions that are exciting, and only good health most of all. So with that, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.